How to make a stop motion. Step 1. The setup. The setup is putting the scene for your film together. All you need is a table and a room with decent light. Put the table at a location in your room with lots of space, and then start setting up the scene. Also, if you use Legos like I do, make sure you tape down the set. You don't want it squirming around while you're trying to film. Step 2. Lighting. You can use your room's light like I mentioned earlier if you want to, or if you're on a tight budget. However, if you want the best light possible, you can set up 2 of this style lamp, and you can also use some natural light bulbs, which will give you more of a white light instead of an orangish or yellow light. If you really want to improve the look of your stop motions, you really want to get the natural light. Trust me, it looks way better. Also, you want to make sure everything is clearly visible unless the scene takes place at night or in a dark area. Then things can be a bit darker but still need to be visible. The second part of lighting is transitional lighting. Basically, you want to make sure that lighting from scene to scene does not flicker and stays consistent. First, I'll show you an example, a very exaggerated example of bad transitional lighting and then good transitional lighting. Just to explain in case you missed it, the lighting was so bad you probably couldn't even tell that he took a step. Now here's the example of good transitional lighting. Now that was clearly a lot better. You could see that he was taking a step, and it stayed clear and consistent. Step 3. Background. For a background, you need to find something that makes sense to put in the back of your setup to block off the outside world from the shot. You can use things such as construction paper or printed off pictures like this. However, you can really use anything that makes sense, for example, the Lego base plates that I use. Step 4. Cropping. Now, just to let you know before I go into these next couple steps, this is where we actually go into the filming steps. So anyways, cropping is blocking stuff that you don't want to be in the shot out of the shot, like the tape holding my set down. Obviously, you don't want that to be in the picture, so all I do is adjust the camera to crop it out of the shot, and then I take my picture. Step 5. Animation. Now, first of all, when you're doing animation, you want to make sure you have a tripod to keep your camera stable and animation smooth. You also want to make sure that you take several pictures for each movement to make the animation even smoother and look as lifelike as possible. Here's an example of a walking sequence. So here I'll show you how to do a simple walking sequence. All you really need is one minifigure and a base plate that he is studded in on. So what you do first is you have him idle like this, and you just take a picture like that. And then you move one of his feet out. It doesn't matter which one. I usually prefer to start out with the right foot. It doesn't really matter. But you move one of his legs out like that, like he's about to take a step, and you take a picture, and you sort of want to straighten him out a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, but again, you want him to look as best as possible. So take a picture like that, and then you move him forward so that his right foot, or whichever foot, maybe you started out with the left foot, in that case it'd be the left foot, is studded into the next piece. You move him forward, straighten him out, so his other leg is sort of kicked back like that, and you take a picture, and then you move his other leg in, straighten him out, and take a picture. So next thing you'll see is the fully edited walking sequence. And there was the fully edited walking sequence. One more thing I should quickly mention is that when you're editing, you want the pictures to be 0.13 seconds long. You can make it faster or slower, but the preferred time for me is 0.13 seconds long. Step 6. Script. A key step in filmmaking is having a script with you while you are filming. However, it is especially important with stop motion. The main reason why is stop motion is a little hard to do off the head and then make it look good when you're in final editing, because everything will be it'll all be messed up and you'll have to edit around that. So make sure you have a script with you when you are filming your stop motion. Step 7. Expression. Expression is a key thing to get right in any stop motion film. If you are going to have any sort of talking in your stop motion movie, you definitely want to get expression right. Now this goes hand in hand with having a script with you, because if you don't, that is most likely the reason your expression is a little off, and I've made that mistake myself. Now I'm first going to show you a scene where there is no expression, and after the scene I'm going to guess what was going through your head when you were watching that scene. Watch out, the crook's over there. Now, two words I'm guessing popped into your head was either bland or plain. Now, if you thought of a word similar to that or the same word, then I agree with you. It is bland and plain. Now, to fix that, I'm going to make the officer show better expression, and I will show that in the next scene. Watch out, the crook's over there. And as you can see, that looked way better than the previous example. Step 8, editing. When you're done filming, you want to put the pictures on your computer. Put them together in whatever editing program you're using. It'll generally be either iMovie or Movie Maker, and then start editing. Some key things are to save frequently, use as many necessary sound effects as possible, add music if you want, and remember that the time on the pictures may vary. What I mean by that is, say you have a sequence where it's a dialogue sequence, somebody's talking. Maybe a picture on there could be half a second. And then you have a walking sequence. The pictures on there are generally 0.13 seconds. So just keep messing around with that until your animation looks smooth. Step 9, take your time and refine. Now what I mean by take your time and refine is have patience, don't stop editing the movie until you are happy with it, do not rush it, make sure you look over the film a couple of times, and if there is something that you see that bothers you, try to fix it. Unless you are on a deadline, just take as much time as you want until you are happy with your movie and you think it is done.